Alright, here we go. Some super late after 10 o'clock fly time. Gonna start off with a Saber 2-aught fly hook. Saber 2-aught fly hook. Alright. Just gonna run some thread right here by the eye of the hook to put the lead weight on. I doubt anybody watches this thing at night, but whatever. Alright, got some bigger lead eyes right here. So when you put this on, you want to put it on the hook and start get you a couple of wraps in one direction, and then get a couple of wraps in another direction to kind of hold it on there. Absolutely nobody watching, which is sweet. Alright. And once you get it started on there, I'm just going to make some X wraps. Maybe a couple more. Alright, and then I always wrap underneath to kind of hold those together. Nobody watching anyway, so talking to no one. Alright, and just go ahead and run some thread down the hook. Wow, somebody's watching. Well, somebody was watching. Oh wow, got some people watching. Alright y'all, so far the only thing I've done, started off with a Saber. It's a fly hook, it's a 2-aught hook. Put that on there. Went with a pretty big heavy eye to get this fly down. Got that on there, and that's all I've done so far, and I've just wrapped some thread down the shank of the hook. Now I'm going to take some of this Solarez UV glue, and I'm just going to put it over the thread, over the eyes, because you don't want your eyes spinning on the hook when you start catching fish. And this is a fly, and you can use it for a lot of stuff. I use it for redfish. All right, y'all, and this is a fly I just came up with, y'all. Yeah, there's some people watching now. All right, so we're gonna hit it with the UV light right here, y'all, just to dry that glue real quick. You might can even see the smoke come up on camera. This glue is it dries with UV light within a few seconds, and this just happens to be Solarez glue. All right, so far we've done the 2-aught hook, Saber hook, 2-aught hook. Put the eyes on there and ran the thread down. I came up with this fly, down here in Louisiana for redfish, we have a lot of blue crab. That's what we have down here is blue crab. So I wanted something with some green and some blue, kind of like a crab. All right, y'all, we're going to take this is a deer tail, olive colored. We're going to take a pinch of that. So I'm just pinching off a section of deer tail right here. Just like that. We're going to cut that off. And then after I cut off the deer tail, I'll just make sure there's no loose strands on here, like that. I'm going to set that on top of the hook shank. I do a couple of loose wraps first just to make sure it's where I want it. After I know it's on there good, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this around the hook shank like that. Just like that, y'all. All right, now we're gonna turn this over. We're gonna add some, hey cat, hey everybody. All right, y'all. Now we're gonna put some easy shrimp eyes on here. And I'm just using this this chartreuse green kind of color, just to give it a little bit of color back here, honestly. All right. And what you want to do with these, you want to lay these, so I've got the hook facing up, as you can tell, and these have a V in them like that. So you want to lay these on the hook on the shank of the hook with the V going like that down each side of the hook, y'all. So you just want to lay those on top of the hook and then just wrap them. Like that down the hook. And then something I do is, after I put those on there, I take some Solar Res glue again and I put it over that thread right there, y'all, where I put those shrimp eyes on there, because I don't want those flipping around either. And again, hit that with your UV light just to dry that glue real quick. It only takes a couple of seconds, and you can kind of see it, the UV light hitting those eyes and making those things light up. All right, now I'm gonna do just a little bit of shine on this tail, but not very much. So I've got this, it's kind of like a pinkish orange. I know it might be hard to tell in the light. It's kind of like a pinkish orange flash right here. So I'm gonna take, I usually use about, because this stuff is really thin, so I'm gonna grab about 6 strands or so. That's probably, chill out, cats. Cats over there wanting to have UFC since it's late at night. So I got about 5 or 6 strands right there, y'all. I'm gonna cut that off like that. Now I've got my shiny hiney right here. What you're gonna do, you're gonna wrap this around your thread like this, just one single time, and kind of hold it up out of the way and get a couple of wraps on that stuff to hold it in place. And then I'm just gonna pull, basically I got these strands half right now. I'm just gonna pull them back so they're alongside that deer tail, and then just do some wraps in it, y'all, to get those to stay. Just like that. And that's just gonna add, it might be a little hard to see on camera, that's just gonna add a little shine. You don't want very much, honestly, just a little bit of shine. This right here is a, I mean, it's supposed to look like a crab, but I'm just being funny with it and calling it the long arm of the craw, is what I named the fly, long arm of the craw. All right, so now we're gonna take some, we're gonna make some crab legs, y'all. And if you've never seen how you do this, we're about to make crab legs out of this chenille right here. So this stuff right here, it's basically kind of like pipe cleaner. So I'm going to cut about 3 or 4 inches off of it because it's going to end up being shorter when I get done with it. My scissors are starting to get dull from cutting. So I got about 3 or 4 inches right here, y'all. So I'm just going to move this out of the way so y'all can see what I'm going to do. So we're going to double it over like this right here. Just like that. And I'm going to tie a knot, just an overhand knot. What we're doing right now, we're making crab claws. Is what we're doing. So I just got an overhand knot started right there. And when you tighten it down, you want that overhand knot to be towards the end down here of these 2 little pieces. And I'm just going to pull it tight. So right now, all we've done was we threw an overhand knot in a piece of chenille, just like that. Now what we're going to do, take your scissors. If you look at most crabs, which I don't think this really matters when it comes to the fish, but most crabs have a long side and a short side. So we're going to cut this off, do one kind of long and one kind of short, like that. Now I'm just going to go back on this right here and cut close to the knot and make that one single piece like that. Now, just to be cool with it, we're going to take a red Sharpie, y'all. Oh, I almost forgot a step. So you want to take something with some flame, and you don't want to cook these things. You're gonna hit the flame, and you're just gonna touch these 2 points to the flame. And what it does, right now they're just flat. It's gonna add a little point to make it look like a little crab claw. Uh-oh. What in the, wait a minute. I grabbed the wrong one, y'all, sorry. I was like, what in the world? I grabbed the wrong one. All right. So we're going to get a little flame going and just touch those. And it's going to put a point on those. Now they have a point on them. You might not even be able to tell, but there's a point on them. And now, to make it cool, we're going to take a red Sharpie and make the claws of these things red. Is what we're doing right here. So we're just making little crab claws, y'all. Like down here in Louisiana, we have a lot of blue crab. And so I came up with this fly just because I wanted something with that blue and green kind of combo. So right now we're just coloring our little crab claws right here. And right here, we're like I'm from Georgia, but I'm a fishing guide down here in Louisiana. I guide. That's what I do. I take people fishing. So now we're just gonna make the little hand right here blue. Does it really matter? Probably not. The redfish aren't gonna run up to it and like look at it and say, "Oh, that looks cool," you know. But they're basically, when they're eating, when you pull this thing in front of a redfish, they're going to smoke it. So there we go. We just made our first crab leg, y'all. That's going to be a crab leg. We're going to make another one for those who missed, because I got to have 2 of them. So again, we're going to cut off about 3 or 4 inches of the chenille. Yeah. That's it's actually a kingfisher. I got the box somewhere over there. So this vise, y'all, is made. There's a fly fishing store. The Kingfisher is what it's called. And they have this vise made, but it works great. It's got all the, it's just as fancy as, you know, the $500 vices without being $500. So, all right, y'all, we're gonna take a piece of chenille. We're gonna do a little overhand knot. I might have almost did this one too small for me to tie a knot in, honestly, but let's see if I can get a knot in there. Almost cut that one too small, but I think well, hold on, y'all. All right, almost got it. I can't believe I almost tied that one too small to tie a knot in, but I got it. All right, so we're tying a knot, overhand knot in this piece of chenille. And we're making crab claws right now. All right, pull it tight, just like that. I already got one kind of longer than the other, but I'm going to cut it off anyway. Pull it tight. And when I put these crab claws on this fly, y'all, one is going to be longer than the other, and that's kind of the whole purpose of it. That's the reason I call it long arm of the claw, this fly. All right, y'all. Again, we're going to leave one of these kind of long. This pair of scissors right here is starting to get a little dull from cutting all this stuff, and I'm going to do one of these kind of short. All right, so there's the beginning of our crab claw. Then we're going to take a lighter again, and like I said, you don't want to burn these things. You just want to do a fire and just kind of touch it to it, and that's going to put a point on those like a crab has. So now we got a little point on our claw. And now, just to be jiggy with it, we're going to take the red Sharpie and paint the claw red. We had let's see, I think since the last time I went live, y'all, I've done 2 more fly charters. I had the same people for 2 days. It was a father and a son. All right, so we got the claws painted red right here. Now we're going to take the blue Sharpie. So the first day of the charter, the wind was kicking like Bruce Lee on steroids. The wind was blowing like 31 or 32, something like that. Started off, the place I went to start off with, the water was dirty. We saw 3 big redfish. They were all big bulls, but we didn't get any of those. And then I found some clean water, even with that even with that wind blowing, found some clean water. All right, y'all. So now we did the little paw blue. Probably really don't matter, but that's the way I do the fly. So we ended up finding some clean water, and went back in there, and immediately we weren't in there very long, and caught a giant black drum. And then that was actually the only fish we caught that day. We actually saw several more reds, but didn't get any hookups. And then yesterday was the second day of the charter, and we caught, we had 5 fish. The biggest one, we had a 28-pound redfish, and actually the kid caught it. The kid caught the 28-pounder all by himself, which was cool. And then we had, was it all redfish yesterday? It might have been all redfish yesterday. We had 5 fish. I think they were all reds, I think. All right, y'all. Now, when I tie these on there, I'm gonna leave one of these slightly longer than the other. That's the whole joke about it being that's the reason I call it the long arm of the craw, y'all. All right. So I'm just gonna lay these on top of the hook just like this and get some wraps in there, y'all. get some wraps on them. Just like that. But that was that kid's biggest fish ever. He said, "I've got a couple of pictures. Y'all should see the. I mean, the look on his face catching a 28-pound redfish was unbelievable." So the father let his son fish more, because he's trying to get his son into fishing. He wants him to like it. He don't want him to get tired of it. So the son actually caught more fish than the dad because he let him fish the most. All right, y'all, we got some wraps on there. Now we're going to cut this right here off. Just cut these little tag ends off, y'all. There we go. So far, we've done our saber hook. They're made by the Fly Shack. So 2/0 hook. We did our eye. We put some glue on the eye to hold it there. We put little shrimp eyes right here, y'all. I'm sorry. We put the olive colored deer tail, a little flash, the shrimp eyes, and we just put our claws in there for our crawfish. And believe it or not, we don't have like a ton left to do. Now we're going to add some crazy legs in there. So we're going to add some little legs off to the side of it. I grabbed 3 of these. I just take 3 of these off here, y'all. Like that. So we got 3 right here. And I'm going to wrap these one time around my thread. Like that. And what I'm doing is, as you can tell, these legs have 2 colors. They're like a green with a little bit of a pink. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of evening these up right here. I want them kind of even, like that. All right, now what I'm going to do, y'all, I'm going to put 1 or 2 wraps right here just to get these started. And then I'm going to take, like this right here, I'm going to put 3 on each side. Actually, they need to be flipped over that way. I'm going to put 3 on each side and wrap them so they stay there. And now I'm going to take my scissors, and these, y'all might not be able to see in the light, but there's green and there's pink right here. I just want a little bit of that pink, and it's going to be like the little tip of the legs, the little feet, I guess. So I'm going to do a little bit of pink, on that one. Same thing on this side. And I have one get away from me right here, I think. There we go. So we just added some legs to our fly right there. That's just going to give it a little bit more action, a little bit more, stuff for the fish to see. All right, y'all. We're getting close to being done. I'm going to take some of this EP brush right here. This is in the backcountry color. It's actually head brush. And this is just a couple of, you don't need but a couple of inches of it. This is a couple of inches I had left over from earlier today when I tied. I actually just came up with this fly today. I wanted something in a craw or in a crab with some blue and green in it. So this right here, this color right here, has a little blue and green mixed in, has a little bit of shine. So I'm going to take this stuff, if you don't know, y'all, has a wire running down through it. So I'm going to take and bend that over back towards the back of the fly. Actually, I'll take that back. I'm going to start off by pulling just a little bit of it forward like this right here. There's a couple ways you can do that. I'm going to pull a bit of forward to start off with. And get a couple of wraps right there. Now, as I'm going to wrap this around the hook the same direction. As I do, I'm going to fold it back towards the back of the hook. This stuff right here is just going to give, let me get this out of the way. This is going to give the fly some body and make it push some water. So in other words, most fish have sensors where they can feel things in the water. So this fly being a little thick like that is going to make it where when the fly goes through the water, the redfish can feel it. They can feel the water. It helps them find the fly. So, ooh, that hook is sharp, y'all. So as I'm wrapping that, I'm just pushing that stuff back towards the back of the fly. We're almost done. We are almost done with this fly, y'all. I'm going to take this little bit of I'm not going to have much of a tag in. I'm going to take the little bit of a tag in right here, y'all. I'm sorry, let me move this over. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't have much of a tag in on it. Alright, now I'm going to take my scissors and just kind of trim up the little extra stuff. And a little trick you can do, y'all, you can take a brush, which I'm just using a toothbrush, but they make brushes for it if you want to spend a fortune for a brush. And I'm just going to kind of brush this stuff out like that. Like that. If y'all are new to the channel, for everybody watching, y'all please subscribe, man. I'd like to hit 3,000 subs pretty soon. I think I'm less than 200 away. All right, so far we did a 2/0 hook. We put the lead eye on there. We used a deer tail to put a tail on here. We put a couple of shrimp eyes right there. We made some crab claws, threw those on there. We took some crazy legs and put some legs on it, and we just put some brush on there, y'all, just to give it some body. Last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take some, I can't remember exactly which one this is called. Let me see. It's basically kind of like crack wrap, but it's a little bit longer. I can't remember the exact name of it, so I apologize for that. It's made by Sightcast Fishing. And I'm just going to grab a couple of inches of this stuff. This is the stuff that's longer. The normal crack wrap, these fibers are shorter. This one right here is a little bit longer. So we're just going to grab a couple of inches of it, y'all. See the cats, it's nighttime. That's the time the cats want to be UFC over here and start acting crazy. The only light on is this little light above me right here where I'm working. All right, y'all, we're going to take this. I'm going to lay one end of it on the hook to get it started. After I got that started, y'all, I'm going to take and wrap the hook with this stuff. And everything I do, I normally wrap it in the same direction I'm wrapping the thread. So same thing, y'all. I'm just wrapping it same direction I was wrapping the thread. Let me get my thread out of the way, actually. My little bobbin thing out of the way. And what you want to do, you want to keep this stuff kind of flared out and pushed back towards the back of the hook while you're wrapping it. So down here in Louisiana, the reason I'm doing it in this like a green and blue color, we have blue crabs down here. That's what they're called. They're called blue crabs. And that's what color they are. They're kind of olive green or like an OD green with blue, and they have some orange and stuff in them. You can look them up you can Google them and see. But all right, y'all, we're just wrapping this around the head while keeping these fibers pushed backwards. Like so. And then my little tag end right here. We'll get a couple of wraps on that tag end so we can cut it off. All right, I'm gonna cut this tag end off right here, y'all. And then get some wraps in it. To help hold all that together. And y'all, we are basically almost done with this fly. All right, now we're going to finish it off we're going to do some wraps. I always do a couple of wraps right here, and then we're going to tie it off, y'all. So my little tire right there. Let me turn this fly over. Let me get to the not sharp end of the hook, y'all, so I'm not sticking my finger while I'm tying this thing. And I usually do mine 3 times. You know, I do 4 or 5 wraps, and then I usually do mine about 3 times, y'all. I'm just OCD about it because we catch gigantic redfish on flies all the time. All right, cut off your little tag end of your thread like that, and take your little Solarez glue right here. It don't have to be Solarez, this just happens to be Solarez, but I use glue that dries with the UV light. I'm just putting that over the thread that I just tied off. Now we're going to hit it with a UV light, y'all. It looks like a black light. Shh. Hush, cats. Chill out. All right. And this stuff dries within a few seconds, y'all. Now we're basically almost done, except I'm gonna brush its hair real quick, y'all. I'm just brushing that blue back over that. It's just a little bit of blue, as y'all can tell, with that green. I'm just basically making it the colors of a blue crab. That's basically what it's imitating. All right, y'all. Move this out of the way. And we have a finished long arm of the craw, y'all. You like that? Yeah, man. That's put those little chenille. We made those, y'all. We used chenille right here. Tied little overhand knots in them, and then you take and you cut after you tie the overhand knot. You cut your little tag ends off and take a flame into it, and it puts that little point on them like that. And I just took a red Sharpie, made the claws red, and I did one intentionally longer than the other, y'all. That's why I call it the long arm of the craw. We added a little shiny to the hiney. You can barely tell. There's about 5 or 6 strands of shiny on there. Added some legs to it, and then we went with the head brush, like kind of an EP brush. Put that on there, and then some not quite. It's kind of like crack wrap, except it's longer on the front. And that's it, y'all. That is our long arm of the craw, y'all. Redfish fly. I mean, I'm sure it was. I'm sure a largemouth bass or whatever would smoke it too, but yeah, made it for redfish. All right, y'all. Let's see. The green are the green beads. Yeah. So that's little. Where are they at? They are right here. Sight cast fishing, Sight cast fishing makes them. They're called Easy Shrimp Eyes. They come in tons of colors, y'all, and so they're easy to use. A lot of colors. So that's it, y'all. If you think about it, it's pointed this way. When that crab is trying to get away from a fish or whatever, he's going to be facing the fish with his claws out. So when this thing hits the water and you're stripping it, it's going to be, when you're stripping it across the bottom, it's going to be just like that. And the redfish is going to smoke it. All right, y'all, so that's it. Thank you, man. Thank you. That's probably the only one I'm going to tie tonight, y'all. It's like, I think about 11 o'clock, close to it. But thank y'all for watching. I know I haven't tied in a couple of days. Well, haven't tied on film in a couple of days. I had fly fishing charters the past couple of days. The biggest redfish we caught the past 2 days was a kid caught it. It was 28 pounds. And then we had a giant black drum, and then some normal size reds. When I say normal size reds, like mid 20 something inches, something like that. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'm going to kill it and get some sleep. Thank y'all.